Am I the asshole for asking my husband to prioritize our family tradition over his new friendship?
No, I feel that's a reasonable ask.
It's probably bad that you had to ask for that. I feel
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, I think you're good.
All right. My husband, 35 male, and I, 32 female, have a very small but meaningful tradition. We started the first year we got married. It's nothing major, but it's important to me. Every November, on the weekend before Thanksgiving, we take a day trip to this lakeside town about an hour away. We spend the day walking and talking and picking out new ornaments for our Christmas tree, something that's meaningful to our year. It's just one day, but it's one of those things that make the holiday season special for us. My husband recently became great friends with a guy from his gym. They hit it off quickly, and I think it's great because my husband doesn't make new friends easily. He seems like a genuinely nice person and shares a lot of his interests, like hiking and gaming. And I know it's refreshing for my husband to have someone he clicks so well with. Here's the issue. My husband's friend invited him to go on a weekend trip the exact same weekend as our tradition. My husband seemed hesitant at first to bring it up, but eventually he asked if I'd be okay with us rescheduling our tradition to another weekend so he could go on this weekend with his friend. I was caught off guard, and I told him that it kind of hurt my feelings that he even considered moving it. He told me it's not a big deal for us to do another weekend, and he's right in the sense that it doesn't really affect anything logistically. But this trip has always felt like our thing. It's not like I don't want him to have fun or make new friends, but I kind of feel like he's minimizing something that's special to us, or at least special to me. When I told him that, he looked surprised and frustrated, saying that I was overreacting.
Ooh.
He did end up agreeing to keep the weekend for our tradition, but I could tell he was disappointed, and I feel guilty for that. Part of me wonders if I'm being stubborn about a little ritual that maybe only I care about as much as I do. So am I the asshole for asking him to prioritize our tradition over his new friend?
Absolutely not. As a partner, if your partner communicates to you that, hey, this is something that makes me feel that the holidays are here, it's something that we've done in the past and is important to me, you just shut the fuck up and just be like, you know what? I'm going to do this because you love it. And you should end up loving it too because it's something that you enjoy with your partner. That happened to me a few times. Like one of my traditions is I love watching WrestleMania, to bring back to wrestling again. And it's my tradition to just like sit on a TV like during WrestleMania, like the whole weekend. I just sit and watch wrestling all day long, and that's pretty much the whole weekend. However, there was a time where we, Juliet wanted to go to like New York because she just finished like her school and she just wanted to unwind. And she was like, hey, I really need a break. And the cheapest time to go to New York is like during WrestleMania weekend. And I could have been an asshole and been like, no, but it's WrestleMania weekend. I'm like, no, this is important to you. You need the relaxation. You need a break. Let's go to fucking New York and experience shit together. So, and just compromise. Just be like, hey, bro, can we reschedule another time? Just how I rescheduled watching it. I'm just like, hey, I'm going to stay up like, at night just to catch the replay. But is it okay if I just like stay up the rest of the night and just watch? She's like, yeah, we did everything that we needed to do already. So when your partner communicates that something's important to them, take that and make sure that like you go through it, because that's what couples do, is that you enjoy things that that your partner likes.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's weird that you asked her to reschedule before you asked your friend to reschedule.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially because this is a new friend versus your wife. You know what I mean? Like, you could just be like, all right, well, I'll catch you on the next trip if you can't reschedule. No biggie. It's not like hiking can only happen once a year, as opposed to this is like quite literally the beginning of holiday season. That's the tradition for y'all, this is what jumpstarts the rest of it. So could you logistically do it another weekend? Yeah. But then like you're doing it after Thanksgiving, it's, I think what OP did is good, that they set like a boundary, and like, I don't love, like we could, but I don't love it. You know what I mean? Cause like, this is a new friend. Maybe he's just trying to see like where the boundaries are, like things like that, but yeah, I think OP did the right thing. Hopefully, the husband is not just like resentful the whole time and makes it a shitty trip anyways, because that's no fun for anybody. So
Yep.
hopefully, they get over it. Yeah, I just think it's weird that he put the onus on the wife instead of like his new friend.
Yeah.
Maybe because he's more comfortable with the wife. So maybe he's like, oh, I'm trying to impress the new friend, but also never stop trying to impress your wife, right? Like you want to keep the wife happy, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I can speak to that a bit more. Like in your 30s, it is very much harder to late 20s too. It's harder to make new friends. And so I get
As someone who doesn't have a social life outside of this podcast,
yes,
I get it.
my friends live very far away.
Same.
I understand him being like maybe anxious about potentially losing out on a friendship if he asks them to reschedule. I get that. I honestly, at this point, I think no assholes. I think he asked, she said no.
Yeah.
He obliged and said, okay, yeah, I'll we'll keep it that weekend. He's upset. I think that's fine. I think you guys should talk about it for sure before it happens. So that, like Sean says, that it doesn't become a negative thing. So at the end of the day, I don't love that he, what did he say? He said I was overreacting. I don't love that.
That part I was like, why would you say that, bro? Like,
Yeah.
you've been doing this for years.
Yeah. So I don't love that. But at the end of the day, he did end up agreeing to the weekend to keep it tradition.
Yeah, I mean, that's the part too that's like, to me, I consider him like caving as just like, oh, she's just nagging me to fucking go in this situation. That's probably why I'm just like not too happy about the husband. But I do get what you're saying though, Josh.
Yeah. And I don't know. We don't know his set. Like he could be like this weekend could go fine and he could have fun and not make it a thing. I could just see in the moment maybe being someone who is maybe more introverted and has harder time making friends, being upset that, that maybe this could end our friendship. You know what I mean? Like having those anxieties about that. So I get that. I think it's on him to properly voice that and have a conversation about that. But we'll see. There is updates, so I will get into the updates. Before there are updates, there was a more info needed tag over the post. So people weren't judging one way or the other off the bat. So update, I saw some people asking how long we've been married. We've been married for 6 years and we've been doing this tradition since our first year together, always on the same weekend. Update 2, a lot of people have asked why this specific weekend matters so much to me. I think it's because we've kept this tradition on the same weekend for over 6 years. And to me, the timing feels like an integral part of the tradition itself. It's become a marker for the start of the holiday season in my mind, and changing it feels like losing some of the meaning behind it. Which I don't know why people were harping on her so much about being like, why does that weekend matter? It's like, if it's tradition, it's tradition. It's like, oh, why does your anniversary matter? Because that's when we got married. That's when we started this relationship. It's like, this is when we started the tradition. I understand that. It was
a sentimental moment for OP. I don't understand people sometimes.
I don't get it either. Update 3. After a few hours, I want to thank everyone who shared their opinion. After reading the comments and giving myself some time to reflect, I decided to talk to my husband again. I told him I felt bad for how things went earlier and that I didn't mean to make him feel like I'm keeping him on a leash. Which, again, I don't think you were.
I think you just...
I think it's fair to ask for a tradition.
Described your boundary.
Yeah.
Like, you just described like, it's really important to me. This is the start. I think, you did everything right. It's not like you're like, you cannot go.
Yeah. I also explained why our little tradition feels so special to me and how I've always seen that weekend as our weekend. He admitted that he hadn't realized how much it meant to me. He said he'd been excited about the trip with his friend because it was the first time in a long while that someone had reached out to him like that, and that he didn't want to let that slip away. We both agreed we could have handled the conversation better and that neither of us wanted the other to feel like their feelings didn't matter. As said earlier, we've decided to stick to our tradition this year as planned, and my husband is going to plan a weekend trip with his friend in January when the holidays are over. So, pretty good. I will say I went to sort by new to see what the comments were, and they were very hot and cold. It was either you're the asshole or not the asshole for
I don't know. Maybe it's because I like kind of live where I was raised, so I still have like a lot of friends or whatever, but so I don't know like the hardships in like trying to make new friends, but I feel like if you told a new friend like, hey, can we do another weekend? This is a special weekend for my wife and I. If they're like, no, you suck, then obviously, all right,
They're
cool.
not for you.
I realized pretty early on, this is not a friend I would like to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
So-
I will say, as someone with social anxiety, you worry about the worst. Like you imagine the worst thing in your head that they're going to say to you. So you imagine they're going to say that shit to you and be like, well, shit, there goes my friendship. Even though that would be a terrible situation and no one would ever act like
even
that.
if that happened, you'd be like, well, there goes my friendship, but also probably for the better
Good
if they
thing,
reacted that
yeah.
way.
Yes. But like an irrational, like anxiety-ridden mind.
Yeah,
does
there
not
is no
think that way.
rationale in
Yes.
when you have anxiety. That makes
Yes.
sense. I'm with you
Yeah.
on that.
So I think him being fearful of that is, something he needs to work on for sure. But also, like, I get it.
A lot of
understand
people
it.
would feel that way.
Yeah. But I don't know why people are so hot and cold on it. Because
Maybe they all
came
have a
to-
similar anxiety.
maybe.
I don't know.
Because
I don't
they
know,
came to a
they all
good
they all came to
conclusion.
like a mature conclusion, which
Yeah.
is what we kind of hope for in these situations. So
Reddit. hates
Reddit
that.
be weird sometimes. It's like I want scorched earth, which makes juicy stories and juicy episodes.
I will say on her part, like people that are like, oh, you're keeping on a leash or whatever, like those people have probably been in relationships where they have not been allowed to have friends. But that's
Well, then don't project
that's
on
on
others,
you.
bro.
Yeah,
That's on. Yeah,
You can't
Yeah.
project.
Yeah. Anyway, so that I didn't even pick a comment for that because they were all kind of wild. So let us know what you think down in the comments.
I never once got the fucking indication that he was on a leash.
No, neither did I.
No.
Where do people pick that out from?
Get therapy.